Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. So today we are discussing in detail the results of the Vimshottari Dasha for the planet Moon for all the 12 houses. So when I tell all the 12 houses, it means when Moon is placed in the Ascendant, the second house, third house, and so on to the 12 houses. So we have already done with Sun, which is our previous video, and this video is an attempt to explain in brief what all kinds of results a person might get to see when he is entering into the moon mahadasha and moon is either favorably or negatively placed in the houses. So here we should understand that the moon dasha will be for 10 long years. As per the Vimshottari Dasha system, Sun is for 6 years and Moon will be for 10 years. So all those who are born in Hasta, Shravana or Rohini. So RHS, Rohini, Hasta, Shravana. So these people have their moon placed in its own nakshatra, and that will be their starting dasha or the starting planetary period, which will be that of moon. So there are many charts and many people who are born in other dasha systems and will encounter moon dasha in a different period of their lifetime. So moon usually represents youngness, freshness, creativity, motherland, flow of thoughts, vocabulary, etc. So, whenever the dasha comes into play, depending on the lordship of moon, because sun and moon do not have dual lordships. Sun is the lord of Leo and moon is the lord of Cancer, that is Karkataka Rashi. So, there is not much of a confusion when it comes to moon Mahadasha. So, when moon is placed in the first house, the results will be so and so. When I am telling first house, it is a generalistic estimation because the first house does not mean that it starts from Aries, or the first house that does not mean it starts from Cancer where moon is the lord. First house means where the ascendant is placed, and it can be anywhere in the chart. The person, if it is positively placed, then the person will become more charismatic in that period of time, and he will be having good social relationships, and people will get attracted to him, or he will be, what as to say, accepted by social groups, friends, family, etc. Very important, because if it is negatively placed, he will get alienated from the same groups and he will not like to go there, or they will not want him in the group. So these things have to be understood by the placement and association of different planets with moon. So the tone of talking, the expression will be very pleasing in that period of time. So calmness will prevail. Usually, when moon is not strong and it is weak and it is associated by planets like Mercury or Rahu, then the person will not be able to stay in one place or will not be able to show calmness. He will be like, like a boiling water. We always tell that when it is with Mercury, it's like a boiling water. He is so active that he will not be able to contain his surprise element or his anxiety, his curiosity. So, usually, moon, which actually controls the emotional part of a human being, will get excited or ignited when that dasha operates. So, We should also understand that when we are talking about the first house, it is the scalp or the brain or the first most important part which controls our thought processes. So, children who are attending examinations and who have a good placement of moon in the chart and they go through the moon dasha in that particular period of time, then we say that the person can be, successful in crossing over competitive examinations, passing them, and getting good seats in good colleges. This is a very important point. The same way, if it goes the other way around, there are tendencies of depression, going through a lot of loneliness, going through a lot of what we call as mood swings, memory loss, etc. So, going to the second house, second house is dhanasthana, money. Whatever the lordship of moon is to be taken as a benefic planet because it's a very soft planet. But if moon wants to give you good flow of money, it's a wonderful planet for that. It will give you a lot of money. So flow of money will increase and you will be able to, take loan for building residential property or, home building, house building. And why is this house building and all this, civil engineering coming for moon? Because moon doesn't represent civil engineering. It represents water. It represents business. It represents it's a planet of business. So why is this house building coming into this particular prediction when it is in the second house? That's loan for house building. It you will get loan. Why? Because Kalapurusha, when I take Kalapurusha from Aries Lagna, Moon represents the fourth house, which is also for house and vehicles. So people can apply loan and they will get loan if it is favorably presented in the second house in the chart. And at the time of this particular 10-year period of Moon, they will be able to attain or acquire money, or financially they will become strong so that they can live a luxurious life. So moon represents luxury. So, and they can also take in new professions which are involving uh, speech and talking. It's like trainers, counselors, consultants. So earlier to the moon dasha, let us say till the sun dasha was operating, let us say for 30 years of service or 25 years of service, the person has done industrial work and then he would want to become a consultant. So this transformation can be seen from sun dasha to moon dasha. From a hard 8 to 10, that's 8 morning till 10 in the night, they will be slugging for 12 to 14 hours per day, but they will come and become consultants. They are now recognized in a higher level. So this is a very good change. So they can also earn through color, chemicals, dairy, any grains, particularly rice, paddy. So they can earn from FMCG, usually what we call as all those canned and tinned food trading, marketing of food which is ready to eat, or it is a byproduct, or it is a raw material which is directly used, like it's a cleaned rice, packed rice, or you are also going in for packed food. So this is a very good period for anybody to start restaurants, get into food business, and get into milk production, cheese production, etc. So this is a huge, uh, there is a huge variety of products for moon. So please go into my other videos of moon in second house and characteristics of moon, significations of moon to understand what all moon covers. Because if I keep telling about the significations of moon, this particular video will be, it will not be ending today. So only, we are now going into third house. Okay. So, planning and thinking, but loss of execution, that is going into confusions. So let us say a person was meticulously doing his job till the sun dasha, everything was running fine, and suddenly he loses control over his streamlined planning, and he suddenly becomes a little dull, confused, is indecisive. That is when moon is badly posited in the third house. Usually, the position for moon in the third house is not recommended because it is a place where a person can become lethargic. All these planets, Moon, Venus, and Jupiter, are not that recommended to be in the third house because they give you a laid back, kind of nature. So going into, and also not before going into the fourth house, the attachment with the siblings is going to grow in this period. And also you can see that if at all you have a child which is having a third house moon and it is well posited, let us for example Vrishabha Lagna with a third house moon in its own sign, or we have Meena Lagna, that is Pisces Lagna ascendant with third house moon which is exalted, the fifth lord in the third house, for a native who is your child. So this particular period in the child's life, when the moon dasha comes, you can see that you will have an opportunity to have another kid. That is, the child, the indication in from the child's chart is that he or she will have another sibling, younger brother or younger sister. So this also is used in our birth time rectification methodology. So going into the fourth house, they love to be with family members. See, fourth house is residence. So when we say griha, vahana, sukha, all these things are seen. Even dhanya, growing agriculture, floriculture, all these things are seen in the fourth house. And when moon is there in the fourth house, usually the person will be staying close to a water body and he will be very happy there to stay there. That is, he would want to be with in a place where he has a wind coming over to him, passing over water. So he would love to be near seashores, love to be near waves, wavy, not waves, loves to be near water bodies like lakes, ponds, rivers, etc. And change of place. People keep asking me whether I'll be changing base. So let us say I'll take an example. A recent phone call when a person saying is staying in Seattle, which is northwestern part of US, and wants to come down into tropics like Southern California, San Diego, or get into Texas, Dallas, Texas. So if this change has to be seen, we need to see whether a dry planet or a strong dry planet, which or a planet which is more windy, is now influencing the chart. As to if it is a dry strong planet like sun, Dallas Texas would be more suitable, and a windy and a coastline planet like moon, California would be more suitable. So we will do a lot of calculations. Every astrologer does that, not only me. Every astrologer does the dikbalas and calculate the direction of planets, whether going to southeast or whether they are going to southwest, they are going to northeast or northwest, will be very clearly decided from the planetary aspects. So usually when moon is in the fourth house, they acquire new materialistic items, as I told you, like house, clothes, cars, and they would want to you know um, spend on luxury goods for comfortable and more posh living. So this is a very strong placement of moon in the fourth house. So fourth house is also the Karakasthana of moon, that is the signification of moon, which indicates prosperity to mother of the native. So when the moon dasha is operating, the mother of the native will be happy and will be in sound health, provided from the moon, taking moon as the lagna. We will do all that on the board, because when we are discussing about practical charts, we need to show you how to calculate and how to evaluate the subdashas like moon, same positions. Next comes moon Mars. So where is moon? What is its lordship? Where is Mars in the chart from moon? And what is its lordship from ascendant? So both factors are taken, combined, and then the delineation of a chart is done. So it is a little tough process, but anyway, once you start doing it, you will get used to it. So that will be those things will be taught over the board. So fifth house. Fifth house is for progeny, it is for fertility, it is for fertile thinking, imagination, creation, speech, mantrasthana, education, higher education, indulgence, many things. If Moon and Rahu are badly posited along with Saturn in the fifth house, indulgence, they will have deep indulgence into many things like becoming obsessively indulged. But if Moon is happily posited in the fifth house with, let us say, Jupiter, it's a beautiful position for Gajakesari Yoga to happen, provided Jupiter has good lordships for the ascendant. But because one or the other, there will be one or the other negatives, but let us not go into the negatives. Having a good, well protected moon means moon has good planets on either side of it. That is, if moon is in the fifth house, good planets in the sixth and the fourth house will give moon Durdhura Yoga. So it should not be Kemadruma Yoga. So Kemadruma Yoga, moon makes a person very stubborn, would not have the patience to gel with people. So or has the fear of not being, financially stable, uncertainty, all these things will keep coming up. So the fifth house moon, if it is favorable, is a good time to conceive or plan for a child. So that is the dasha timing which the native has to take up. So they also can plan for higher studies. There are many people who call me that I have a 4 year gap, I have a 6 year gap. Can I do my masters? So this is what we do. We go into the chart, do the evaluation as to the fifth house, who is sitting there, ninth house, who is sitting there, sixth house, second house, and then see that whether if moon is sitting there in the fifth house and well posited, obviously, and if it is the moon dasha which is running, obviously we'll tell this is the best period for you to complete or take up a new assignment so that you will get very good results in this. So should we only do it till seventh house today? We'll complete it. Hmm. Tough. Okay. Sixth house. Sixth house is Rogasthana, Ripusthana, Runasthana. Roga, Ripu, Runa are three major RRR. Roga means diseases, illnesses, discomforts. Particularly, it is infectious difficulties. Ripu means enemies, because moon does not have any strength when it sits in the sixth house, and the native will succumb to competitions in the workplace in that particular period of time. He will be having a lot of trouble with un cooperative, or let us say people who unnecessarily want to backstab or would want to trouble his peace, and his normal working condition will be now difficult for him to work there. because of too much of emotional trouble what the people around him will start giving him in that period of time of moon. Whatever the moon is, whether it is beneficially, the lordship or negative lordship, whatever the lordship, if it is a benefic lordship, the difficulties are less, but it is a difficulty. If it is a negative lordship, the difficulties are too high. So we have seen in many of the charts that people succumb to the pressure, and they get into a mode of surrendering. So, thank you. So, sixth house, one should understand that there is a chance of people going through difficulties and trouble in offices, even marriage. Why? Because the sixth becomes the 12th for the seventh house. So when Moon Dasha is operating and Moon is placed in the sixth house, it is a tough time for them uh, to emotionally understand the marital challenges, because I have seen in several charts that unnecessary suspicion, unnecessary difficulties because of health problems, the emotional difficulties what people go through in the moon dasha. I will give you a case which I have done, I think around 6 years back. I remember 5 to 6 years back. This is a case of a person who was happily working, wife is happy, she was also working, they have a daughter, everybody well settled. The person had a little bit of temperamental issues. I'm talking about the husband, but still it was all in good books because the earnings was very good. But suddenly one day, when they had bought a new house, the EMIs were running, and it was around 3 years or something down the line after the house was bought. It was a costly affair, and they had to pay, 50% of the salary would go into the paying of EMIs. And this guy suddenly, got a report of high shooting up creatinine levels, and he saw that when he got it checked up, his kidney failed. A kidney failure case, both the kidneys failed. Bad luck to him and bad luck to the family. I have met those people, so that's why I'm able to tell it so strongly. Moon Dasha. Moon Dasha, Jupiter Antardasha, Rahu Pratyantardasha was what was running. Moon Jupiter, Gajakesari Yoga, fantastic. Not always. Please try to understand this. Moon, water, all the sanitary, that is the plumbing and sanitary, what we call it. Those pipelines which are actually used in our body to, excrete urine, the urinary bladder, and which is now coming from the kidneys. There was an infection there, and finally both the kidneys had to be, or he had to get a new kidney. They will not remove those kidneys, they'll have to put another kidney there. Meanwhile, because of the drugs which he had to take, the chemical drugs what he had to take, steroids, his anxiety, his OCD, his bipolar problems suddenly shot up. There was no bipolarity for him. It was a most difficult time for his wife to take care of. Daily routine was a tough thing for them. Forget about the EMIs. Somebody will help or something will happen. But daily routine was so tough. So what I'm trying to tell here is sixth house moon, if it is not strong and if it is badly placed, and you go through the dasha of moon, be a little careful. Don't unnecessarily, even before the dasha comes, be careful with regard to your health. You need to stabilize. You need to have a good routine. You need to see that your toxins are easily thrown out. toxins will be cleaned and thrown out if you eat fruits every day, if you walk every day, and if you drink ample amount of water every day. So do not stress yourself. Unnecessary stress building, how much ever money you have earned, and when you go through such a situation, nothing stands in front of you then, because your health is most important. So, sixth house, lung infections, pulmonary infections, breathing problems like sinusitis, asthmatic problems, allergies, weak immune system. That is what is the case, the kidney failure is also because of a weak immune system. Loss of money, sedentary lifestyle, lethargy can spoil. So, loss of money because of health, and also because of non-repayment of loan, very dangerous, and will unnecessarily make enemies. So I think we will do 7 houses for today, because I am going too slow and I am going in detail. I don't know suddenly what happened to me. Usually I go very fast. I had many people telling me that, sir, go slow. And some people telling me, you finish the subject and close the video. Why do you talk so much? I don't know. Today I am talking. So, seventh house is, let me come on a good note and finish it, okay? Because the sixth house was very tough on myself. I was, started sweating talking about that issue, because it's so tough when I see people go through severe pain, because it's not their mistake. Marriage, yeah, yeah, I told you, because it is the 12th from the seventh house, a lot of separation because of overseas travel and overseas job. I have seen many cases where there is no difficulty with regard to husband and wife and their relationship, but suddenly a person will have lost his good earning job here. EMIs have to be paid, so he will take up a job abroad alone, goes there, tries to save money, and comes back. And the matter of 5 or 6 years, he will have solved all the problems. But 5 years, he has to be like, we call it Agnyatavasa. Agnyatavasa. If you people know Mahabharata, in that the Pandavas, after Vanavasa, they have to go do 1 year of Agnyatavasa, and they do that. Agnyatavasa is that you are in the society, but you have zero identity, or you need to mask your identity and do your job. Nobody should come to know about you. Oh, very tough thing. Mahabharata as an epic is a beautiful epic. You can't find any mistakes in it, because the intricacies of each and every character which has been defined into elaborate, beautiful. So people who have never seen Mahabharata or heard about it, because my videos are now seen a little bit around the world. I'm just talking about our Hindu culture or Hinduism. Mahabharata is an epic which is beyond excellence. We can't compare Ramayana and Mahabharata with any epic anywhere. Nobody could even do a character sketch of nearly 1,000 people, 1,000 characters in perfection. And they have, each and every character is uniquely described. So you need to take the 32, 33 volumes of the original book released, and I don't think it's available now. It was printed by, in Kannada, in our mother tongue. It was printed by our late, king of Mysore. So he got it printed, and I have a copy. So it's a beautiful. It's still available, I think. Yes, it's still available, and it's available at very lower cost. I don't know whether it's available in English. It's available in Kannada, in our language. I think Mahabharata, Sampurna Bharata is available online. Please, people, go through it. You will understand how beautiful this is. So you will get all, the planets and their characteristics defined there. Coming to the seventh house, ending on a beautiful note here. Moon is one of the karakas for a person getting into marital bond, or getting into a good relationship. Honest, loving, caring, and excellent, relationship, spontaneous. So, marriage, happiness, travels, and business will flourish when you have a beautiful moon sitting in the seventh house and its dasha is in operation. So, I think I have taken a lot of time today. So, I have done 1 to 7 houses. Yeah, they will do a lot of good business, trading. Yeah, not stock market. Here it is forex, business in forex, business in handling money transactions like banks or subsidiaries to banks, trading with foreign exchange and export and import businesses. So trading with in raw material, particularly cosmetics, clothing, and many other things. But yeah, on overseas, see, you should understand it has to cross water. So that is why when moon is in the seventh house, we regard that chart has to travel a lot. That person has to travel a lot and see the world. He will, because he has that flamboyant way of character where he can go meet people, mingle with people, and understand people. A beautiful placement for moon, that is the seventh house. So thank you very much for today's class.